When it comes to Stronghold, no other entry in the series has taken such a unique approach to its single-player campaigns as Stronghold 2. While later games streamlined or removed features and earlier entries stuck to a more traditional approach, Stronghold 2 dared to be different, from choosing your path being good or evil, to the introduction of in-game cutscenes, to a promotional system as you progress through the game. This game introduced elements never seen before or since in a Stronghold title. But how do these features stack up against the rest of the series? Let's dive in. One of the most striking aspects of Stronghold 2's war campaign is the ability to choose between two distinct paths, good or evil. The choice shapes the way the story unfolds and how players experience the campaign. The good path sees Matthew Steele, our protagonist, rising through the ranks as a page for Sir William, and becoming a key player in protecting the king and his kingdom from lords all vying for his crown.
That, I believe, does it? This crown gives me a feeling of power! Power! Forgive me a cruel chuckle. Power.
The evil path, however, allows the player to use their newfound powers for villainy, betraying the king and their former master William, and joining the rival lords Pascal and Berkeley in a bid to take the throne for themselves.
Both of you pull back. The crown is mine. Do not be a fool, Berkeley. It is not your destiny to rule this country.
You will never take the crown!
This duality gave players a reason to try out two different paths in the campaign, seeing how different choices impacted the world and story. The good path meant standing for justice and defending your people. The evil path, on the other hand, encouraged you to use the strength you had gained throughout the campaign to take the crown for yourself. It put the choice in the player's hands and left the choice of what to do with the power gained throughout the campaign up to them. The choice in the game isn't easy, due to the connections you make with the king, Sir William and other lords throughout the campaign, before you decide which way your path will go. Betraying them all for the crown left me feeling like Anakin on Mustafar. It felt bittersweet. In other Stronghold games, the campaigns are linear. The main campaigns in the original Stronghold and Stronghold 3 gave players a clear-cut story of rebellion against tyranny. Legends gave players 3 linear story-driven campaigns, and Stronghold Crusader, Crusader 2 and Warlords provided historic campaigns that follow a straight path through history. For me, Stronghold 2's branching narratives makes it one of the most replayable campaigns in the series, and for me, the most immersive. Stronghold 2 is the only game in the Stronghold series to make the switch to in-game cutscenes. Gone were the static cutscenes with talking heads that defined the original Stronghold. Instead, Stronghold 2 brought its world to life by presenting cutscenes using in-game graphics. This allowed for seamless integration between gameplay and story, keeping players immersed in the setting.
And how do you propose stopping me? Huh?
On my command! Fire! Lady Seren has convinced the king of Sir William's true allegiance.
These cutscenes helped characters feel more alive. Instead of static talking heads, you could see your lords discussing matters in their castle, heckling enemy lords before battle, or looking over the battlefield discussing politics and tactics. It put the character truly into the world of the game, and despite how comical it can sometimes look with the strange and over-emotive movements of the characters, it truly does help to immerse the player in the story. It added a new level of storytelling, reinforcing Stronghold 2's commitment to making its world feel alive.
You and I together could rule these lands and make them strong once more.
Leave my lands, Matthew, or by God, I will strike down the monster I have created.
This immersion was later lost in Stronghold 3, which told the campaign story through hand-drawn cutscenes in black and white, separating the game and story to the player and just feeling rather dull in comparison. Crusader 2 and Warlords took the series back to its historic style campaigns of the original Crusader, introducing each campaign with just text and voiceover. The only game that truly had something unique to the campaign after Stronghold 2 was Stronghold Legends, with at least the voice actors for the text-based cutscenes adding some dramatic charm, and its 3 distinct faction paths and interesting stories.
Sometimes the most beautiful of creations can be the most deadly, and the power of desire makes fools of us all.
No game in the series has quite matched the charm and immersion that the in-game cutscenes from Stronghold 2 bring for me, although Stronghold 1 comes close with its iconic talking head cutscenes. Another defining feature of Stronghold 2's campaign is its in-game promotional system. The player plays as Matthew Steele as he promoted through the ranks as they play through the campaign, generating honour to unlock buildings, fortifications and units in a way that feels organic and is not just something that is arbitrarily unlocked as a reward for completing missions. Players begin as a freeman, basically an armed peasant, but as they progress throughout the campaign, Matthew is promoted to higher titles, gradually rising to the rank of Duke. This system gives players a tangible sense of progression, making their sprawling castle and army feel earned. Compare this to other Stronghold titles where your rank never changes. Whether you are fighting in the Crusades or defending your lands in Stronghold Legends, your units and build options remain static. Even in later games like Stronghold 3 and Warlords, your castle never evolves in the same way. Stronghold 2 gave the player a real sense of growth as they progress through the game, making victories more satisfying and providing a progression system similar to which is seen in other RTS games like Age of Empires and Cossacks, which for me makes longer games more satisfying with multiple missions spreading over one map as often seen in Stronghold 2's campaign. It makes settling down for an evening and playing the campaign in this game an absolute dream for me.
And finally, the main reason for me being here, Angus MacLeod himself. Dislodging the bull from his castle will be no mean feat.
The ranking system also added a level of increased challenge to the game in an organic way. As Matthew gained in rank, he also gained new responsibilities to have to deal with in his castle. Gong came first, then rats, then crime.
I'm afraid to go out in broad daylight, let alone at night. The castle is swarming with unsightly criminals.
All of which had to be carefully managed unless the player was to fall out of favour with the peasantry and see them leave the castle.
People are leaving the castle.
In Stronghold 2 you weren't just playing missions, you were growing into the role of a true noble, managing your castle and building your strength. It was a rare mix of player progression and RTS strategy that no other Stronghold game has attempted since. One of the standout features of Stronghold 2's campaigns that make growth feel incredibly immersive and rewarding is how many missions are spread out across a single map. Unlike other entries in the series such as Stronghold Legends or Crusader 2, which occasionally feature missions that carry over on the same map, Stronghold 2 simply does this the best. The game's campaigns allow you to move between castles, expand your estates, and take on multiple enemy lords at once, making for a much more dramatic and engaging experience. This feature isn't just a neat gameplay trick, it completely changes how the player experiences progression. Instead of a series of disconnected battles, you're actively shaping and expanding your domain. Every mission feels meaningful because you can literally see the results of your efforts. You're not just starting fresh with every mission, you're continuing a large journey. For me, this is best showcased in the Peace campaign. Every mission takes place on a single map, with the player moving between castles to tackle various challenges. One moment you're cracking down on crime and dealing with the ever-present Gong problem. The next you're clearing out bandit camps or rushing to defend your allies' keep from an invading force.
Have no fear. I shall deal with this traitor.
Men to arms! Men? Men?
The threats in Stronghold 2 feel tangible because they persist on the map, rather than being an abstract pop-up event like in other Stronghold games. You actually have to deal with these issues firsthand, and that makes for a far more immersive and engaging experience. It's clear that later entries in the series try to recapture some of the magic by introducing small combat elements into their economic campaigns, but because their missions are usually spread out across separate maps, they just don't deliver the same level of engagement and immersion. There's something special about watching your Stronghold evolve over time, rather than constantly resetting from mission to mission. And honestly, it's a real shame that Firefly hasn't leaned more into this style of campaign design in later games. If Stronghold ever wants to recapture the magic of the campaigns in Stronghold 2, I think the interconnected mission structure is something that absolutely needs to make a return. Stronghold 2 may not be everyone's favourite entry in the series, but it remains one of the most ambitious and unique. From offering more choices in the campaign to integrating real-time cutscenes, it did things no other Stronghold game has done. While later titles took different directions, the innovation to Stronghold 2's campaign make it one of the most memorable games in the series. So what do you think? Should Firefly Studios bring back some of these mechanics in future Stronghold games? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Stronghold and related RTS content. Thanks for watching.